make sense of and prepare for the future. There is no doubt that we are about to head into very troubled economic waters. According to Dent, we are about to head into a great deflationary depression. According to Rickards, we are about to head into a period of massive hyperinflation. History will prove one of these men right. Our challenge is, who do we believe, and how do we prepare? If we can get it right and prepare correctly, we can survive and possibly prosper during the greatest financial event of our lifetime. Harry Dent is a student of history and demographics. He discovered a correlation between aging generations and spending habits. In other words, what's important at each stage of a person's life and what they are willing to spend their money on. He has discovered that the expansion of credit leads to inflation in financial assets. Everything from the stock market to real estate to commodities increases in value due to consumption and investing. He contends that every credit bubble in history has been followed by a deflationary collapse. He cites Japan as an example of an aging population that has been stuck in an economic coma for almost 30 years, and contends the United States is about to experience the same thing. His recommendation? Sell everything and hoard cash, because the dollar will soon be king and you'll be able to buy stocks, real estate, and gold at incredible discounts. He predicts gold will go to $700 an ounce. Jim Rickards has been focused on the ability of foreign governments to use currency as a weapon. He predicts the dollar is about to be replaced as the world reserve currency and become obsolete. When this happens, he predicts foreign governments will divest themselves of the dollar, causing massive hyperinflation within the United States. As the dollar becomes worthless, the value of gold will rise. He predicts $10,000 gold and $600 silver. So here's what I've come to conclude. I believe Dent would be right if the only factor for us to consider were demographics, but it's not. Gold and silver prices have been suppressed by central banks and governments to cause us to accept worthless paper as money. The BRICS nations, Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, have been hoarding massive amounts of gold. Why? Because when the dollar is dethroned as the world's reserve currency, the price of gold and silver will be dramatically revalued as they once again become monetary metals and not just commodities. Paper money will have its place, because that is what we use in the United States to pay our bills. We will need a way to convert metals back into currency. But in a hyperinflationary scenario, people will want to get out of dollars and into metals at just about any price. This would allow us to repay our debts with dollars that are worth less. Banks will not run out of money. Why? Because the Federal Reserve will simply create more. We will not experience a Greek-style run on the banks, because we are not Greece. People will be able to get their money. It just won't buy as much. If the banks here move towards negative interest rates, people will simply take money out of the banks. We don't need physical paper money because we pay most of our bills with electronic checks. As long as we can continue to pay our bills using our bank accounts, we'll be okay. Foreign goods coming into the country will cost more, not less, because our dollar will not be worth as much to foreign governments who will no longer need dollars to buy oil. This should also cause the price of gold and silver to increase, because the price of gold and silver does not exist only in the United States. Gold and silver will be revalued by foreign governments. As the purchasing power of the US dollar decreases, people here will want gold and silver as a means of preserving their wealth. The US and the world will need to return to a gold standard for the basis of currency, which means gold will once again become money. Everyone wants to be right. I want to be right. Both arguments are compelling and have their merits. There are three sides to every coin: heads, tails, and the edge. I personally choose to prepare from the edge and suggest that you do as well. So what do I mean by this? I believe the best course of action is to have both precious metals and physical cash on hand, because we simply can't afford to get it wrong. You need to be prepared for any situation by having a mix of precious metals, physical cash, food, and firearms on hand, because no matter who is right, one thing is for sure: the proverbial shit is about to hit the fan, probably by October of this year. The reason there will be a return to the gold standard is because gold is nobody's dead instrument. It is not borrowed into existence like our worthless paper dollars. It is mined into existence. And it is rare.